Evening. I would like to call the Monday, April 27th, 2026 Common Council meeting to order. Clerk Toronto, I believe you'd like to make some comments regarding the link for this meeting and other expectations.
I do. Good evening, members of the public. To maintain good audio quality for council member and yourselves, we will be muting everyone not speaking by default. If you would like to speak during the public portion of the meeting, please submit your request in the chat. Directions to do so will be listed. We ask that you provide your full name and residential address, as those are required for all speakers at in-person council meetings. Those wishing to speak virtually must activate their camera, displaying the speaker to be recognized by the chair. Additionally, if you are called on to speak, please provide your details in the following format. My name is full name, and I live at residential address, and I would like to speak for slash against agenda item. You will then be given 5 minutes to speak. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Please remember that disrespectful, rude, or disruptive speech or actions will not be tolerated. Such speech and or actions, as well as verbal attacks on any person, may result in the individual without notice forfeiting the remainder of his or her allotted time. And again, as Clerk Toronto has said, if you are addressing us by way of by the internet, you must turn on your camera so that we can see you. We have on the agenda Rabbi Yosef Chaim Danziger from the Orthodox congregation is supposed to give us an invocation, but because he has not arrived yet, we will now default to Dr. Oliver Davis.
Thank you.
Let's stand for invocation.
Let us pray. Dear Lord, we thank you for being here tonight. We thank you for everything you've done. Guide us as we make decisions for the city of South Bend. Help us to make decisions that will make our city strong. Bless all those who are without power right now due to the weather. Help the power to come back on very soon. Thank you for everyone here gathered. And we thank you for our mayor, for each one of the council members, and for all the residents of the city of South Bend and the businesses that work here. Guide us and keep us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Now we'll repeat the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, Clerk Toronto, please give us the roll.
Councilmember Gooden Rogers,
Present.
Councilmember McBride,
Present.
Councilmember Warner,
Present.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson,
Present.
Councilmember Thomas Morgan,
Present.
Councilmember White,
Present.
Councilmember Dr. Davis,
Present.
Vice President Niskoski,
Present.
President Lee,
Present.
all 9 present.
All right, thank you. We'll now have a report from the subcommittee on minutes for April 13th, 2026.
To the Common Council of the City of South Bend, the subcommittee has inspected the minutes of the April 13th, 2026 meeting of the council and found them to be correct. Therefore, we recommend the same be approved.
All right, I'll now entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion passes. All right, there is no special business tonight, but we do have reports from city offices. Michael Schmitz and Kay Farlow from our DEI will make a presentation. Michael here
Okay, we'll go.
and Kay.
Hey.
Okay.
Kay will go first. Okay.
Thank you. All right. Well,
Thank you. And she will be talking about our small business assistance suite.
Yes, I have a presentation that I believe is being queued for you.
Hmm.
Good evening. My name is Kay Farlow. I am founder of the I'm Power Center. Can you guys hear me okay? Am I close enough? Okay, great. So as the presentation is being queued, please excuse the April 2025 note at the bottom. That should say 26. But I'm here to talk a little bit about the iPower Center. I want to give you a background of who we are, how we came to be, but then more specifically give you the updates on the Small Business Suite, which is a City of South Bend program that I've now been a part of for, this is the 6th year. So very proud administrator of the program who have served almost 600 businesses in the City of South Bend since we started in 2020. So this presentation is designed, again, to just give you a background about who we are and a little bit of the evolution of the program to where we are present day. So serving South Bend from vision to impact. A little bit about myself. I was born and raised here in South Bend, and this is home. And so this is the city that built me. And so in 2016, when I moved to Indianapolis begrudgingly, I became an entrepreneur. I did 2 years in Indianapolis. First year, I focused on real estate, and I also have a background in financial services. I'm licensed in life insurance, real estate, mortgages, and investments. And so my goal has been financial planning, financial literacy for the people that I serve. First year sold 12 houses, second year 31. So I was very successful in real estate, but I saw a greater need to educate people as it related to their money. I spent a lot of time developing them in their credit and so on and so forth to get them prepared for those homes. 2018, I discovered a report that South Bend released called the Racial Wealth Divide. So I decided I needed to leave Indianapolis and come back home and shift what I call shift those statistics. Many of you may remember that report, but it showed the wealth disparities amongst races. And so I decided I was needed to bring my skill set back to South Bend and focus on those statistics. COVID hit. COVID hit, and when I came back, I purchased a 6,000 square foot building over on Lincoln Way West near the airport to open up those operations. I began meeting with residents here in the city of South Bend and found quickly that their bandwidth and capacity, at least the people that I wanted to serve, was not prepared to receive the information I was giving. And so as you see here, I was discussing things like property ownership strategies, building a 7-figure retirement portfolio, protecting your family with life insurance, credit building, pre-approvals, long-term wealth planning. So that conversation was a little bit above the mental capacity of the underserved, which is where I come from, right? What I found was trauma-filled stories of survival, Maslow's hierarchy, basics needs not being met, mindset and mental bandwidth, as I mentioned. I was finding myself performing more social services than financial services. These, of course, were my friends, my family, and my neighbors. Anytime you're starting a business, you're going to your network and your people first, right? So, of course, my coaches told me to leave that group, right? You want to make money, you can't spend time serving that part of the community, right? But these were my family, my friends, my neighbors. This is where I grew up, right? So it was my reason for coming back. So instead, I decided to partner with the city of South Bend. COVID had hit, and there were programs that were forming with the city of South Bend to serve that same population. And so in partnership with the city of South Bend, I already said that part. We're going to skip over that. So in 2020, Antonius Northern was working for ODI, and he requested that I start assisting him with building out this program, the Small Business Suite. I became a coach initially. I transitioned on the back end to consulting because he was building this program, the design of it, the infrastructure of it, a lot on his own. And so I was noticing some gaps and some things that should be added. So in addition to being a coach, I was able to help him actually create and build this program out. So 2 years into the program, what we found was a lot of the vendors and different partners that had been onboarded weren't lasting. And so in 2022, I was one of 3 still remaining. And so Antonius came to me, and in addition to that, there was some turnover at the city. So he came to me and asked if I would actually become the administrator of this program and take ownership. So in 2022, I did that, became the administrator, and was also the coach. So we started as the administrator, doing the infrastructure, the operations, vendor coordination, the oversight of the program, in addition to overseeing coaches that were meeting directly with the participants. Program structure and track record is a slide that I'm at. Each year, From 2020 to present, we have been serving almost 100 businesses, sometimes a little bit more a year. So initially, when the program started, we would see an entrepreneur no matter what level they were at. They could have an idea, they were a startup. So we would work with them from idea all the way through the vendor services that we would offer. So in addition to receiving a coach, these participants would get access to professionals in the area of tax preparation, bookkeeping, and legal assistance. So the way that we track data in the front end of this program was how many business owners successfully completed vendor services in those areas. So we know how many people actually finished their bookkeeping, finished their tax preparation, and actually got legal assistance. The legal assistance primarily included getting their businesses registered as an entity, most of them being single member LLCs. We did see some multi-member LLCs, and we did see some S corporations. Bianca Jones actually took leadership in the department and became my direct support. And let me get my years right. This is 26. So I want to say it was 24, the end of 24. We're somewhere in 2024. So under her leadership, she and I began to look at some of the gaps that we were yet finding within the program. We put together the reports to pull the data together over the previous years and began to look at how we might change it. She introduced doing minority business certifications because her focus was not just a successful small business suite program, but also how many of these business owners could we actually get prepared to do contracting with the city of South Bend. She focuses in on those percentages as it relates to minority business owners. So not just coaching them, but about changing the composition of who actually gets to do business with the city. Every certified minority vendor we produce is a data point that shifts the statistics. 2026 program transformation. So now we're in the present year. As I mentioned, we used to serve almost 100 businesses, sometimes more than 100 a year. Focusing on coaching, taxes, bookkeeping, and legal, we've now added marketing for those businesses. Broad outreach across levels. It was a volume-oriented program, help as many people as we could, shore up their infrastructure and get them the help in those areas that they needed. General business development. Now, looking at the 2026 model, what we've shifted to is less businesses and more quality help. So spend more money on the businesses that are coming through the program, making sure that every area of their business is shored up, also making sure they're going through that minority business certification so that we can increase the percentages of how many minority business owners are actually getting to contract with the city of South Bend. In addition to doing the minority business certifications, she's also doing a monthly training, teaching them how to see where the opportunities are to do business with the city. She's teaching them how to complete the contracts and several other things that she goes over with them now on a monthly basis inside of the program. So city contract readiness, how to win city business, spend more per business, create stronger outcomes. And we added marketing this year because any business that really wants to be able to get attention and be able to increase their business need to be able to have exposure as it relates to their business. So we assist them with putting marketing plans together, helping them start their websites if they don't have one, increasing their exposure on Google platforms and so forth. So from report to reality, 6+ years of community-centered financial and business development, administrators and coaching vendor for the city's small business suite, being certified city-ready minority businesses, transforming a report into a result, one business at a time.
Thank you. All right.
Yeah, okay.
Thank
No
you.
questions? Thank you.
Good.
Ooh.
We don't go anywhere yet. Do we want Michael to do his presentation, or would you like to ask questions now, council members? You like, okay, go ahead. Go ahead and
Hi.
ask questions.
Thank you so much for your presentation,
Yes.
and I am so excited to hear about the growth. I remember probably right pre-COVID, there was a William Woman Air conference that I attended, and talked about the lack of resources that minority women businesses had with trying to get opportunities. So hearing this program stepping up and in and helping transform businesses is great to hear. One of the questions I had is you talked about the contracts and increasing them with the city. I know that there was gaps some years ago with um, getting contracts. Is there any data or number of businesses who, one, became certified so they can compete with contracts? And then two, is there any data to say how many businesses actually got work with the city?
There is data to answer those questions, but it's in the hands of Bianca Jones.
Okay.
So she owns both of those two pieces of the program. My focus is specifically on doing the vendor services and preparing them. And I should say, in addition to that, we added workshops. So they attend a weekly workshop from 10 to 2 on Saturdays now too. It's more of a cohort style. As we onboard the businesses, they stay together, they meet every Saturday, and the vendors are doing presentations and helping them on the back end. So I
That's
didn't add that
amazing.
piece, but yes, that data is available, and we can email it out.
That would be amazing.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank
Yes,
you so
ma'am.
much.
Ms. White?
Always.
Yes, today.
Yes.
Mhm.
When we were having coffee at
Mhm.
the Chocolate Cafe,
Yes, ma'am.
and you were sharing your vision.
Mm.
See that you're at now. Central plan.
Yes. Yes, I appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate it. I did give you guys a one sheet or two for the iPower Center. To your point, Karen, we have 7 pillars now. It's not just financial literacy and entrepreneurship, but because of those traumas we were being introduced to, we added mental wellness and workforce development. We have a program in 4 high schools right now. And so we're very excited about the work that's being done. The data can be a challenging piece because when you're doing the work, you're not thinking about collecting data. You're focusing on doing the work, but you quickly find that you need the data to be able to support the work. So we do work across the board to make sure we have those things now. Thank you.
Mhm. Councilwoman Rachel Thomas Morgan?
I don't have a question. I just have a comment. I've had the pleasure of serving on the IPC board since I've been on council, and I just want to send kudos to the team. And Bianca isn't here, but she really learned this stuff, dug in, and working with Kay to redevelop that whole business suite, and yeah, and make that more impactful, I think. I know that, for us on the board, the biggest challenges are seeing we work with a lot of self-reported women and minority-owned contractors, but actually formalizing them to be women and minority-owned businesses, the certification is a challenge, and that's really kind of ongoing work that Bianca and her team continue to do, and we're confident that we can increase those numbers, but those are really important because ultimately that's the certified spend.
Yes, absolutely. And she's very passionate about that piece of it for sure.
Thank you. Anyone? Councilwoman Gooden Rogers, and we'll come on down.
Yes, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
And
for
by the way,
inviting
Kay is in District 2.
me.
And tonight I invited her to come here and give us a little talk about entrepreneurship and helping minorities knowing how to get their feet into the door or their foot in the door, okay? And I really do appreciate the work that you're doing, okay? So keep up the good work, and
you.
I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, I appreciate the invite. Thank you.
Councilwoman Sherry Bolden Simpson.
Good evening. So such a pleasure to see you here.
Yes, thank you.
Rise Up Academy is one of the schools she's working in, and she's planting seeds of leadership in 10th grade students. And I was so excited when we met with Kay and her, your partner and Principal Bayangana. So we have to have this in our schools, and it'll make our city better also. So thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. We have our own president, council member Kenneth Lee, presenting tomorrow to the
Yeah.
students on civic responsibility.
Greetings. Thank you for coming.
Yes, sir.
What has been your greatest joy with this whole experience and biggest challenge? You can go challenge first and then greatest joy.
Oh, goodness, you would hit me with that question, wouldn't you?
Yeah, hit you
I
both
really
sides with
was.
that.
My greatest joy is truly the work. Hearing some of the stories from our residents and from our business owners who aspire to create something for themselves, build legacy for their families, seeing them be successful, seeing them get monies through the RLF fund successfully. We've had several of our business owners be able to accomplish that. So that is really the greatest joy in the work. I would say the biggest challenge is, as a 501c3, it's challenging to have or to get funding to build infrastructure. So you'll find that a lot of the people who work with us at the iPower Center are volunteers, because you have to get access to capital and funding to be able to hire employees. And so that is one of our focuses right now, is being able to hire employees and actually have full-time people who are staffed and work in the center. So that would be one of our biggest challenges.
And also, we'll follow up to that. What can we do to help you to resolve those challenges?
Well, the answer to that is always money. It is, and I know a lot of times that is not possible from what's available, but if it is, obviously that would be a really big help. Our center is not going anywhere. I personally have sold my personal residential portfolio of homes, 2 of them, to make sure the center continues to keep going until we can figure out how to make sure the infrastructure is being funded. So if anybody has any ideas or knows of any dollars that are available, we would absolutely love to sit down to be able to apply for those and figure out how to shore up our infrastructure within full-time employees, part-time employees.
Appreciate your answers.
Thank you.
Mr. Warner.
No questions, thank you.
Vice President Nitzkowski.
Thank you, President Lee. No questions. Just thank you so much for the presentation, for the great work that you're doing in our community.
Thank you.
I think I heard you said 600.
Almost 600. We're definitely past the 500 mark.
Yeah, that was incredible when I heard that number. It kind of
Thank
turned my
you.
head a little bit, but thank you so much for everything you're doing and to deliver these positive remarks to our community. Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you. I appreciate the time.
Thank you. And then my last question was, as we're getting ready to enter into a lot of construction and various projects throughout the city, where have you guys been focusing the minority business owners to focus on those opportunities?
That is a great question. And Bianca has specifically outlined the need for us to grab our handymen, our individuals who do have services that can support construction and be able to partner up with a primary contractors that get the work, even if they become secondary. So that is a very important part of the work. I will say that in the cohort that we have right now, we don't have any of those individual businesses in this one. We do have some service providers in the area of cleaning, but as we continue to build out, this is our first cohort. And we got started a little late. There was some changes with some things on the front end, so we got delayed in 2026. But now that we're officially going, we'll have more marketing for our second cohorts. The cohorts will run quarterly. And so each time we'll have a little bit more time to pull in those business owners again.
Great. 2025, they did an awesome supplier summit, and they brought together 67 minority-owned businesses, and they had like a Shark Tank type pitch where somebody got money to their business for having a good pitch. So they're doing great work. And again, Bianca Jones is at a conference. She could not be here today, so Ms. Farlow has stepped inside. Oh, she's online. Are you online, Bianca?
I am. I had
All
to
right.
step out of the conference.
Okay. Well, if you want to add any final things, and then we're going to turn it over to Michael Schmitz.
Yeah, I just want to add, first of all, I want to say thank you, Kay, so much for being able to step in and present for the Business Assistant Suite. She has done a phenomenal job. She's been around longer than I have working in this, on the Small Business Assistant Suite, and we have been able to create something I think is very meaningful and supportive of what our goals are as a department and as a city. As of right now, we do, just to make one correction, we do have a business that is in our current cohort that is a skilled tradesman, and then we also have someone who's dealing in lawn care, right? So we have a couple of those that we can possibly tap into post completion. In addition to the program, we were able to partner with another nonprofit as well to be able to teach a little bit more of the financial aspect to add into the program by letting by once they complete our program, they're able to access a financial product that will start them on the path to small business lending. So we all know, like I said, money is always the issue when it comes to growing our businesses. So one of the focuses is to making sure not only are they getting contract opportunities or preparation for contract, but they're also getting preparation for financial access. But that is all I wanted to add right now. Thank you so much for being able to, for taking the time to listen to our presentation.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. At this time, Michael Schmitz, please. Good job.
Evening, Council. Michael Schmidt, Assistant City Attorney with offices on the 6th floor of this building. We've got great, my slides are popped up here. I want to, first of all, give all the credit here to Bianca Jones. I'm hopefully going to step in here and give you guys a brief rundown of what we're doing here, but a lot of this work has truly been Bianca and Michael Szymanski out of our Office of Diversity and Inclusion. So what I'm here this evening here to talk to you guys about is some changes that the city is making to the program plan. So if you go back a few years, it's been a handful of years now since the city had passed its updated ordinance in 2021 on its minority and women business. And as sort of a offshoot of the ordinance, there was the creation of the MWBE program plan, which is really kind of the guidelines for how do we execute the ordinance that everyone works so hard to pass and get moving here in the city. The program plan requires that we go through the Inclusive Procurement Contracting Board and to council and sort of present whenever we're making changes to this document so that you guys are just aware of what the team is doing here. And so why we're here this evening is just to sort to run through at a high level some of these changes, to continue to invite the conversation, to make sure that everybody understands that this is an ongoing process, of that even though we'll go live with this, the opportunity to work within the program plan and to have continuous feedback and continuous sort of evolution of the document, it exists all the time. The doors are always open, and we certainly welcome any collaboration and efforts to get there, because ultimately we're all on the same team here. We've got this great ordinance that we're trying to make sure is a success in the city, and we've seen financially great successes with where our M&W spending is. And so as we continue to learn and refine what we're doing, we feel like these changes are going to be the next step in positive growth of the MWB program. So to quickly jump in here, if we can go back one slide, thank you. Kind of went over the overview. Sort of the big changes here there are threefold. We're changing the dollar threshold of where goals will be required on projects. We're changing how bidders are going to submit bids to determine eligibility if they've met the proper qualifications to receive a bid through the city. And then we're changing how we're going to do sort of the post-award completion of the project accountability on the project. Again, great credit goes to Bianca, Mike Szymanski, and also Eric Horvath and his team in Public Works. So the next slide. So we were at $50,000. And so what that meant is that all contracts over $50,000 would have goals attached to them. And it started off as kind of a great idea, but what we found over the years is that this actually inhibited smaller contractors from being able to have more opportunities in the city. The state has also changed the laws on some of the quoting thresholds. So if you get into the weeds, you've got with public works projects, there's a bidding threshold and there's a quoting threshold. The state permits kind of great flexibility when you are at certain dollar levels. There's some different tiers that they work under. And so as we were sort of looking at, we can go and solicit a quote from small businesses when we're at $50,000. Now the state's letting us do this at $150,000 or less. And so what that really allows us to do is to identify contractors and solicit them directly with the quotes without necessarily going through the full bidding process of where there's a public advertising through Indiana code. So it allows us to be a little bit more targeted with what we're doing and who we're trying to solicit with some of these smaller projects, which are really great for some of the smaller businesses in our community. And we're hopeful that they could take advantage. And it'll also give them the opportunity to have the entire project rather than to maybe they're not familiar with working with a woman-owned business or a minority-owned business, and then they just don't even solicit respond to the quote process. This is going to give them flexibility. So we think this is going to be a real positive in trying to capture businesses as we try to encourage. We talk about through Ms. Farlow's program and through all the work of Bianca, encourage businesses to get into the public works, to prove they can do it and to keep getting bigger and bigger contracts. So that's change number one. Change number two is how do we confirm that we're going to have utilization in these projects when they are being bid, when we do have goals? So the current program says, hey, I'm going to bid on a project or I'm going to submit a quote on a project and I'm going to tell you who my minority and women subcontractors are and how I'm going to meet that goal. What we've learned over the years is that sometimes these subcontractors had no idea that they were being offered up as, hey, yes, I'm going to be a part of this project. I didn't know that. Because, and it's sort of, it's a little bit understandable. You might have a project that you're bidding on that you might not be doing work for another year. You know, you can't necessarily commit a small business to that project that you don't know what days are going to be needed. You don't know how this work is going to fully fit into this master schedule. But people were acting in good faith and trying to get the goals, and they were representing they're going to use these companies, and all of that was really good. But what we were kind of finding back is it would be simpler on the contractors if they were able to say, hey, we represent that we will meet these goals. We're going to do this, and if the goal is 5%, we're going to hit 5%. The goal is 7%, we're going to hit 7%. But hold us accountable at the end of the contract for when we meet this goal. Not at the beginning. Don't prohibit me from getting a contract with the city because I don't know who I'm going to use 9 months from now.
Sense.
And so this kind of makes sense. But how do we hold folks accountable then? Right? And so that goes into sort of slide, the next slide here. I can get it on my screen. Is the importance here of actually holding people accountable. And so what we've created here is a program that similar to the concept of liquidated damages is that if you're unable to meet the project, so you go and you bid on this project and say, I affirm under oath that I'm going to meet the M&W goals, whatever they might be on this project. The end of the project comes up and they're a little bit shy. So let's say that you missed by 1% on the M and 1% on the W. Well, there's going to be a contractual provision in there that says, all right, your damages for not fulfilling the contract that you agreed to is that you're going to pay that percentile back to the city. So we're going to hold off on retainage on these projects. And we're going to, as we go and try to check all the boxes to make sure the project was done and that everybody's affirmed the contract and done what they're supposed to do, that if they did not meet these goals, that there's going to be a money that comes back into the city that's specifically targeted to go and support the Office of Diversity and Inclusion. Maybe it's additional education. Maybe it's different programs like Ms. Farlow's program. but it's a lot of opportunities for ODI to continue to make an impact with that extra revenue that would come in. Now, of course, we're hopeful that everybody just follows the contract, but we're putting in this caveat in the contract so that we have the ability to go back and to target it. We don't have that ability right now, as in the current plan. We still have the good faith effort that's still required. That's sort of in the required of all MWB contract compliance programs. There's still going to be the ability of a contractor to say, listen, I cannot affirm under oath that I'm going to meet these goals, but I still reached out. I still tried to get people. I still would like to get there. But, based upon what we're seeing in the industry, who's available, I can't do it. I would like a good faith waiver. That's still going to go to the Office of Diversity for review, for an assessment, for discussion with legal, for the discussion with Public Works to see, is this legitimate? Did they do everything that they could have done? Have they contacted these folks that we know are in the industry and in the community, just to even put feelers out to know, can you do the work? And we'll make the assessment there because, again, for the program, for the overall integrity and to be lawful, you still need to have the good faith effort waiver. So that's not going to change at all, but we're hopeful that, again, this program tweak will give contractors more flexibility. We'll have more competition in our bids, which will hopefully drive down the cost of projects. We'll also have mechanisms to hold the contractors accountable. To the extent that they're not accountable, we've got a clear path to be able to say, here's where the breach occurred, and that we're hopeful then that will also provide some supplemental income for a department that will continue to do education and outreach and certification programs and Ms. Farlow's program and different things, all the wonderful things that Bianca and her team are doing. So with that, open to questions, and thank you for the opportunity.
All right. Any questions? Councilwoman McBride.
Thank you, President. I don't have a question. I just want to compliment you as well, because hearing where there were known gaps and the city is trying to see how we can supplement them of helping the minority women businesses, contractors be a part of jobs is refreshing to hear. So I am very pleased to hear the projects that your team has put together, as well as Bianca and Ms. Farlow. So this is some great news to hear. I'm looking forward to seeing the bandwidth get bigger for the opportunity. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, and I mean, it's just important that when you have programs in place to be able to have the opportunity to say, what have we gotten right? What have we gotten wrong? And how do we make this stronger so that it continues to evolve?
Ms. White, or?
I would like to have them also copy the presentation that we have all the. We haven't. You already have it?
Yeah, we'll send it.
Okay, good, thanks.
Councilwoman Rachel Thomas Morgan.
Yes, I too want to thank you, Michael. Attorney Schmidt, he is really humble. Michael comes to every long IPC meeting that we have and really is into the weeds on all of this. So working closely with Bianca and Michael on the team to continuously improve our program plan has been critical. So really want to thank you for your work there. I also want to share that, some of our conversation on the IPC board as we are being updated on this is that, these changes are really, really due to what, they were hearing from contractors and subcontractors too. And so just that, that attitude of continuous improvement, things change, is just really important. The change on the the process, if you can go back to that slide just really quickly, is in some way, yeah, the post-award accountability. And, you can fill out a form and say that we're going to use X, Y, and Z subcontractors, but then situations change. And so really what this allows by having kind of the post-award accountability is for our team to work even more closely with contractors, to be giving them, suggestions for subcontractors and to connect them to subcontractors in our community. So I think those are really positive improvements and allow us to do this work better.
Down this way. Question.
Just a comment, just thank you for recognizing those obstacles and removing them.
We hope we're
Yep,
successful.
we
If
hope
not,
that will be
you know,
successful.
it's important to be flexible enough to know that we'll come back here if we're getting if we're having issues, because we're not getting rid of the program. So
Right.
let's just make the program sharper and better.
Yes.
Like before, what's been your most rewarding part of this whole program that you've been a part of for yourself? I mean, you've stated some of the challenges, but what's been your rewarding thing that keeps you going?
You know, I've talked, and Councilwoman Thomas Morgan's heard a little bit of this, and Bianca's heard it. I've been doing this now for a number of years, and sometimes we don't always do a great job of storytelling our successes. And we've got a couple of businesses. So without making this about me, because it's not,
I got you.
I started out with
I
legal,
understand.
and then I went to the director of purchasing, and then I came back into legal. So I've seen how this stuff has sort of evolved. Seeing the dollar amounts get into a couple of the hands of some of our local contractors, and what we've done pre-program to post-program of putting real money into and not enough subcontractors' hands, but in some of these subcontractors, it's significant. It has been life-changing for some of these companies. It's done exactly what it's supposed to do. It's stimulated growth and opportunities, that's what this is. Right? That's what you're trying to accomplish. So I love to tell that story. And I also would say that through the Four Winds Field project and the commitment that the city and council, everybody working together on this project, we've got our first $1 million subcontract with a minority business.
Oh, wow.
So that's real money. I mean, that's an incredible amount of money. And so that's been the most satisfying and the part that I enjoy. I think that the other part that sort of keeps me hungry is taking your subcontractors, when you look at the end of the year, how do I get from this number to this number? And so you sort of think it's going to be easy to get here, right? But you start seeing just incremental growth. And I think that where you got to get in the future, and I think everybody's committed to it, you keep sometimes banging heads on how to get there best, but is how do we get that money in Michiana? Right. It's wonderful that we're utilizing M&W businesses. We want to keep doing that. But if we can also utilize M&W businesses in Michiana, that's a tremendous win. And so the incubation efforts of the team and just trying to get awareness to give people confidence to bid. And, those are the things where you want to get it from here to here. So it's engagements and it's dollars.
Thank you for sharing that, because like you said, a lot of times we don't talk about that. It is nice to hear those stories that keep you hungry. They keep you getting up, keep you fighting, keep you going through the storms of life, and then just the rewards of seeing your efforts be rewarded right here in Michiana, right here in the city of South Bend. So thank you for all what you do. Appreciate you.
Vice President Skowski, did you have?
I don't have anything to add. I think everybody's been pretty vocal about what a great job that Ms. Barlow has done, and you bringing this to us to further clarify and to bring further success to the program. So thank you for your presentation, and thank you for everything you do. I see you everywhere. So thank you for everything you do for the city.
Councilwoman Gooden Rogers.
Yes, I just want to know, so where else will this information be at so that it'll be out to the public
Well,
besides online?
the program plan is going to be available online, but the next step really is as we go live, it's communicating with our contractors. We do pre-bid meetings all the time up in Public Works. So it's going to be getting out in front of them, explaining the change, working with them through the change. Whenever you have a change, there's going to be a hiccup. So we want to focus on educating them, and we're not just going to give them this plan and say, go read it.
Right.
Right. And so we need these projects to get done in the city too. So it's in our best interest to communicate directly with these folks. How is this going to work? What does this mean? And how we're going to hold you accountable, because that's important, so that we can also have a smooth bidding season this year.
Well, I thank you for the presentation, and I also too would, like Ms. White, I want a copy of the presentation, okay?
And again, just want to make sure Bianca Jones is the true star behind the presentation.
Thank you.
So,
Ms. Jones, is there anything else you want to add to that? If you're still on.
Yeah, I'm still here. I just want to say thank you, Michael, for stepping in for me to present this. We've been working to try to get this thing to come to fruition for the last 4 months, and I'm excited to see that we are getting to roll this out and the benefits that it can potentially bring to the program, and also some of those barriers that were identified and removed. I'm looking forward to seeing more businesses at that lower end coming in as our prime contractors, and I'm sorry about any background noise. And I'm also looking forward to see more businesses being engaged. So that is one of the biggest goals this year, is just seeing us translate these changes into more engagement. But thank you all for taking the time to hear this presentation, and thank you, Michael, again for presenting. You've been awesome.
Thank you. Well, I just have one question before we end this. So Mike, for what you were saying is that if, say for instance, a company gets $100,000 bid, they're supposed to use women and minority businesses, and at the end of the process, they find out that they didn't meet that, whatever that percentage of that contract was supposed to be, they would have to pay that back. And then that money will go to the office to be able to help fund more program. Is that right?
that's the intent, sir.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Everybody, thank you, Mr. Smith, for presentation. Ms. Farlow. Now, I will now entertain a motion to resolve into the committee of the whole.
So moved.
Second.
All right, there's been a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion passes.
Committee of the Whole is now in session. This is the portion of the council's meeting where bills are given a second reading, a public hearing before a committee made up of all 9 council members. All bills set for this second reading and public hearing have previously been given a first reading and a committee hearing prior to this evening's meeting. In addition, we will hear from the chairperson of the standing committee where the bill was discussed and the results of that discussion. If the proposed ordinance is a zoning ordinance, a report from a staff member will be given. In all other situations, the formal presentation on the proposed ordinance will immediately follow the committee report. The formal presentation shall be untimed. Our first point of business is Bill 1926 that has been tabled. So anybody's here for 1926, that bill has been tabled. I don't remember the date, but
It's May the 25th.
May 26th. Thank you all. Yep.
The 25th.
No, 25th is a Monday. Our meeting's on Tuesday, the 26th, because
Yes.
of Memorial
26th.
Day.
Okay, cool.
So,
That's great.
and with that, we will move on to Bill 2026. Clerk Torado, can you please give Bill 2026 a second reading?
Public hearing on an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, to vacate the following described property: western half of the unimproved north-south right-of-way, north of Calvert, and immediately east of 2801 West Calvert.
Thank you. Dr. Davis,
Yes,
do we have a committee report?
we do, Mr. Chair. The Zoning and Annexation Committee met this afternoon, and we bring this bill 2026 to the full council with a favorable recommendation.
Thank you. Staff, do we have a presentation or petitioner?
My name is Chris Tomkowitz. I live at 2801.
Excuse me, Chair.
Yes.
Chair, this is Property Vacation Committee. at
Oh, I'm
zoning.
sorry. I went to the wrong, so,
Sit down.
okay, we'll go ahead and
Well,
back
it's
to that.
yeah, that is true.
So
We apologize.
to the chair of that committee, do we have a committee report?
Yes, Mr. Chair, Public Works and Property Vacation, we met this afternoon and it was sent to the council with a full recommendation.
Thank you. I apologize for that error.
So do I. We take back our.
Okay, go ahead, sir. Thank you. We, just a little
Get ahead of
snafu
the
there.
game.
It's all fixed. We're ready to go forward.
My name is Chris Tomkowitz. I live at 2801. I want to vacate the property west of me.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Can I sit down or, I don't know how this
Yeah,
works.
yeah. We'll see if we got any questions.
Okay.
You just stay there for a minute. Council members, do we have any questions?
No question.
Okay. Seeing none, we'll go, thank you. We'll go to the public hearing portion. Do we have any members of the public wishing to speak regarding Bill 2026, vacating the alley, the western half of the unimproved alley, north-south right away, north of Calvert, and immediately east of West Calvert? Anyone in person or online?
At this time, I do not see any members of the public in person or online wishing to speak in favor or in opposition.
Okay, thank you. We'll just clarify, where these do come with favorable recommendations, not only from the committee, but from all of the different city departments. And this just would vacate just half of the alley to you, and then the other half would go to the other property owner. I believe that's the railroad.
Correct.
That owns that. And the alley is really just a paper alley. It's not really an alley there that's used anymore. It's only on paper.
Yeah.
All right. Any other comments, questions? If not, I would entertain a motion.
Motion to send this to the full council with a favorable recommendation.
Second.
I have a motion by Dr. Davis and a second by President Lee to send this with a favorable. All those, oh, we got to do a roll call. I'm in the wrong meeting.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson,
Aye.
Councilmember McBride,
Aye.
Councilmember Warner,
Aye.
Councilmember Thomas Morgan,
Aye.
Councilmember Dr. Davis,
Aye.
Councilmember White,
Aye.
Councilmember Gooden Rogers,
Aye.
Vice President Niskoski,
Aye.
President Lee.
Aye.
I have all ayes.
All right, thank you, sir. It will go to third reading here in a few minutes with a favorable recommendation. You won't have to stand up again.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, with that, we will move on to Bill 2126. Clerk Toronto, can you please give a second reading to Bill 2126?
Public hearing on an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, amending chapters 3, 4, 6, 13, 14, and 17 of the South Bend Municipal Code to align with zoning chapter 21.
Thank you very much. Now, this one I know is a zoning bill.
Oh,
so
definitely. This
Dr.
was.
Davis, do we have a zoning report?
We definitely had a meeting on this one. This Bill 2126 this afternoon. And we bring it to you with a favorable recommendation.
Thank you very much,
You're
sir.
welcome.
And with that, I will turn it over to Mr. Killian for the staff. Thank you.
Good evening, council members. Brian Killen, zoning administrator, fifth floor of City Hall. So doing our due diligence and our maintenance, ongoing maintenance of chapter 21, the zoning code, we also notice other chapters of the municipal code were outdated. So we took a look at all chapters that mention zoning districts or zoning code. To fix those, you'll see, so we're proposing in this chapters 3 through 17. We've also put forth through legal chapters 5 and 9 also showed some outdated references. Those will be updated by their respective agencies. Again, these changes make no changes to the intent of those chapters. We're simply bringing those chapters in agreement with current language in zoning chapter 21. Just some specific examples. these are the two common examples that you would see in the proposed ordinance. References to old zoning districts, whether it be A residence district, would now be S1 in the current zoning code, or SF1 single family, which is an old county district, is now would now be S1 or S2. So things like that. We also remove duplicate language. We don't want zoning language to be duplicated in other chapters. So in those instances, we simply remove the language because it lives in chapter 21 and just provided a cross-reference citation. So that is the breadth of those changes that we're proposing.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Colleagues, do we have any questions regarding Bill 2126?
We did a lot of discussion in committee, so.
Okay. With that, we will go to the public hearing portion regarding Bill 2126. Do we have any members of the public, either in the room or online, who would like to speak regarding the bill? Anyone in favor or against at this time? Now is your opportunity.
I do not see any members of the public in person or online wishing to speak in favor or in opposition at this time.
Thank you very much. We will close the public hearing. I'll bring it back to council. Any other follow-up questions, comments?
I'll make a motion.
I take a motion.
I'll make a motion to send Bill 21-26 to the full council with a favorable recommendation.
Second.
I have a motion by Vice President Skotsky and a second by Councilmember Gooden Rogers to send the bill forward with a favorable recommendation. Clerk Toronto, can you please take a roll call vote on that favorable motion?
Councilmember Dr. Davis.
Aye.
Councilmember Thomas Morgan.
Aye.
Councilmember Gooden Rogers.
Aye.
Councilmember White. Councilmember McBride.
Aye.
Councilmember Bowden Simpson.
Aye.
Councilmember Warner.
Aye.
Vice President Niskotsky.
Aye.
President Lee.
Aye.
9 ayes.
Thank you. That bill also shall go to third reading with a favorable recommendation from the Committee of the Whole. We'll now move on to our final bill, Bill 2226. At this time, I would entertain a motion to accept the substitute.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to accept the substitute. All of those in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed to that motion? The motion has carried. Clerk Toronto, at this time, can you please give a second reading to Substitute Bill 2226?
Public hearing on an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, amending Chapter 21 of the South Bend Municipal Code to make miscellaneous changes for clarification and consistency, to simplify development process and to achieve higher quality development.
Thank you very much. And with that, I will turn it over to staff for the presentation.
Me.
Oh, okay. Dr. Davis, do we have a committee report?
Yes, we do. We had the Zoning Annexation Committee. We had a nice discussion regarding Bill 2226, and we bring this to you with a favorable recommendation.
Thank you very much. Now, at this time, I'll turn it over to the staff. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Good evening, council members. Mark Delastrito, zoning specialist for the City of South Bend. The office is on the 5th floor of this building. And yeah, this is the zoning team's spring 2026 amendment to the zoning ordinance. I think we've passed along to you recently that we're hoping kind of going forward to have likely 2 changes to the zoning code each year, one kind of around the spring and one around the fall, just to keep up with current development trends, make any changes that we think would, help keep the positive development trends happening in South Bend going, and just make kind of little, clerical errors, fix, little clerical things we find here and there as well. Want to note the changes that were made in substitute bill from the previous one. There were multiple sections that were deleted and one that was kind of half deleted, referencing we were looking at changing in our the UF zoning district, making it so restaurants under 2,000 square feet would no longer need a special exception and could be pursued by right with no special approvals. Those changes have been taken out in the substitute. That's something that we think, after a little more consideration, just warrants a little more research and just kind of looking into that. And also there's section 18, referring to accessory parking lots for businesses and other uses. We've slightly changed the number in that from, from 250 to 150 feet. So just wanted to note those changes up front. And wanted to quickly touch on, why we're revising the ordinance again. Kind of mentioned up front, but again, just wanting to, kind of again keep up with development trends and make changes that we think will offer a bit more flexibility for developers in areas that we feel are warranted, and will help keep making things getting built in the city. Also, trying to reduce the number of variances that go before our Board of Zoning Appeals when it's rules that kind of keep coming back for those variances and staff is comfortable with and that generally get approved. And also just generally trying to modernize the ordinance, keep up with current development trends, the general world, and also, again, do some kind of, clerical maintenance on things that we find here and there. With that, I'll pass it along to Mike DeVita to talk over some of the more potentially significant changes in this package.
Good evening, Mr. DeVita.
Good evening. I'm Michael DeVita, Assistant Director of Planning with offices on the 5th floor of this building. So I know we went over this in detail in the committee meeting, but just wanted to quickly summarize some of the perhaps more complex changes within this package of zoning ordinance amendments. So one is to support the development of more housing in the form of accessory dwelling units. So change the rules to where an accessory dwelling unit can be taller than the primary structure and no longer require a frontage type when that accessory dwelling is not facing a street or open space. So the current rule is that an accessory dwelling unit can't be taller than the primary structure or the main house on the property. We get the issue sometimes if you do what we call a carriage house, which is a garage apartment above a garage. So in this case here, when the main house are all 2 stories, then that's fine. It's legal. Get your permits. If it's 1 story but attached, then that's all regarded as part of the primary structure. So again, that's fine. But if you just have a 1-story house that's detached, then that's currently not permitted to have the 2-story accessory dwelling unit. But with the changes, so we're proposing to allow a 2-story accessory dwelling unit, even if the main house is only 1 story. But the other standards around that accessory dwelling unit in the form of a cottage house doesn't change. So it's still a 26-foot maximum height. It still can be no larger than the lesser of the footprint of the main house or 800 square feet. Generally, if it's above a garage or above a 2-stall garage, it's probably about 600 square feet. So even though it's 2 stories, it won't be a very bulky or massive structure generally. So for an example of what this might look like, 2 homes here, 1 2-story, 1 1-story on the right. Each has a 2-story accessory dwelling unit in the rear. From the street, kind of only for peeking down the driveway do you really see those. Again, it's at a scale that's not going to dominate the main house. If you're staying in front of the main house, you probably don't even see that 2-story accessory dwelling unit at the rear. The other one was on the frontage types. So this is a product recently built in the near northwest neighborhood here in South Bend. It faces a street, so it has that frontage, which is just like a porch, or it could be a stoop. But if this were in the middle of the block along the alley where you couldn't see it from a standard street, then we're not requiring that frontage type be provided, like generally not having a porch to face onto an alley. Next rule change just applies in the U2 district to apartment houses. So apartment houses are buildings with 3 or 4 residential units. We're allowing apartment houses that are under 30 foot in width to be 3 stories rather than the current rule of 2.5. So if you look at the diagram, currently you could build the yellow shaded section there up to 2.5 stories. What we're proposing is to allow you to build the full 3 stories. So on that 3rd floor unit, you can get full ceiling heights, make that a little bit more livable, but we're not changing the maximum height in terms of feet. That would remain at 35 feet. So with that rule, or what kind of building would we look at? It could be a Chicago style 3-flat, like these you may be familiar with on Notre Dame Avenue. And you may say, well, isn't a 3-story building, would that fit in well with these in existing neighborhoods? We think that they would. Here's a detached house that's allowed by right next to the 3-flat, and you see they're of similar scale. And again, U2 tends to be either like along busier streets or in the downtown adjacent neighborhoods, places we'd expect a little bit more size and density. One area we see a lot of variance requests, or have seen it in the last few years, especially as the city's seen a lot of apartment projects proposed, is from the maximum building width rules. So the building width rules are in place just to avoid, say, block long or 2 block long buildings that are kind of very monotonous in their design. But we've seen variances for a few reasons I'll get into, but we're providing some alternate pathways, some flexibility where the zoning administrator can grant approval through some defined ways. So for example, on a stack flat shop mid-rise tower building, which generates a mixed use in apartment buildings, if the hallway is set back at least 20 feet from the street and open at the ground floor, then that, for building width purposes, doesn't count as one building. An example again is here at City Hall with its connections to the parking garage and to Key Bank. Under a strict interpretation of the zoning ordinance currently, that would be all considered one block long building, where I think in practical purposes, how people would view it is as 3 separate buildings. So this would allow us to consider it those 3 separate buildings. So each piece that you would consider a separate building would be subject to the maximum building width rules independently. In a U3 or UF district, so these are for, again, generally larger apartment buildings in those districts. So you would expect buildings to be large, but small gaps in between the buildings. From a development perspective, though, they often look to share amenities that could be internal amenity space, that could be elevators, that could be the fire panel, looking for ways to save costs where they don't have to duplicate those amenities in both of the buildings. So where there's that hallway, and again, it's just a hallway, not rooms to the other side, and it's set back 20 feet. And this is for buildings 4 stories or more, especially the ones where you would most likely to see an elevator. If it checks those boxes, then we can consider each part, kind of each wing of the building to be a separate building. So just each wing would be subject to the maximum building width rather than the whole structure. Then finally, in neighborhood center and downtown districts, we'd consider a separate building if it appears to be multiple buildings where each component is 120 feet or less, has a frontage, which will generally be like a storefront at the ground floor with a front door, and is architecturally distinct. So we go back to our history here. Old photo of what Washington Street used to look like just east of the JMS building. Buildings are now gone. So obviously they were built as separate buildings, but you could duplicate something like that today. These are all at 3 stories. So from the outside, you have no idea whether they're connected on the inside or not. But you see they're very distinct in their design. Each has a front door. Window orientations are different. Materials are different. The cornice or parapets at the top of the buildings are different and has a pretty nice feel. So if you're designing to something like that, it hits those standards, then we could consider each one of those segments to be a separate building for the purpose of building width. So it's really a package of rules to give some flexibility to where we can save a developer on development costs so they can build more effectively, build housing at less cost, and hope that shows up then to the resident while still meeting the urban design kind of goals that we have for the building width.
Then with that, I will turn it back over to Mark just to cover quickly some of the smaller changes proposed.
Yes, and these were gone over at the committee meeting earlier, and as Mike mentioned, these are kind of smaller changes, so I'll maybe just highlight a few. Happy to talk about any of them in more detail, but one of them is the Board of Zoning Appeals recently granted a variance for a two-story gallery, which is basically like a multi-level porch. And staff, we realized we had no problem with galleries being more than one story, so we changed the rule to allow for them to be more than one story there. Additionally, in the last package of zoning changes, we allowed for on larger scale buildings, stack flats, shops and mid-rise towers to have like a one-story amenity space at the top of the building, a community room, things like that. But we realized those were the building types we were intending those to be on, but we didn't explicitly state that. So we just wanted to put that in writing. And then a couple other things. These are mostly clerical. We made a few clarifications to some diagrams. When we made the last zoning ordinance change, there was reference to the landscape part of the code that got mixed up elsewhere in the code, so we fixed those references, found a few other typos here and there. But again, generally very, very minor changes here, but happy to go more into any of them if desired. That's all we have.
Okay, thank you very much for your presentation. Council members, questions, Dr. Davis.
Again, can you clarify everything with that elevator situation? Wanted to make sure that's on the record clearly when it comes down to these kind of duplexes and businesses like our building, and how that is subject to the building codes and not the zoning codes, please?
Mm-hmm. Yep, so with our rule, we're mostly just kind of looking at the exterior of the building for zoning purposes. But when it comes to elevators specifically, those would still be subject to the rules found within the building code and within rules related to accessibility through the Americans with Disabilities Act.
So with the ADA, we're also override all of those kind of decisions?
Yes, they would have to meet those, both of those building code, ADA rules and zoning rules all together.
I appreciate your kindness and put it down on the record. Thank you.
Anybody else? I can't see Councilmember White down there. Is she? Nope, everybody good? Okay, we'll go to the public hearing portion. At this time, do we have any members of the public who wish to speak on substitute bill 2022-26? Anyone here in the room or online?
I do not see any members of the public in person or online wishing to speak in favor or in opposition.
Thank you very much. With that, we will close the public hearing on Bill 2226. I will bring it back to council members. Any further questions? Any comments?
I'd like to make a motion.
I have a comment down here. Councilmember Tomas Morgan.
Just a quick comment to thank the staff for your availability and time to answer my questions.
Likewise, do the same. Appreciate all the letters.
Okay. I won't go as long as my comment this afternoon, but kind of make the same. I think, until you see these, and then I think I kind of took a drive around to see how the ADU would work in different neighborhoods, and I had a little concern about the brownstones and putting these in some neighborhoods, I think. But then when you look at the map and the zoning district that we're only doing this in, it really makes sense where that district is, and it's kind of in more dense areas and on larger, higher traffic areas. And so I think these changes make sense, and thank you for bringing them forward and continuing to prove our zoning ordinance. I know the more building and construction we're seeing everywhere, the more we need to continue to evaluate it. Thank you. And with that, anybody?
Motion to send Bill 2226 to the council with a favorable recommendation.
Second.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Clerk Torado, can you please take a roll call vote for us on that?
Councilmember McBride.
Aye.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson.
Aye.
Councilmember Warner.
Aye.
Councilmember Thomas Morgan.
Aye.
Councilmember Dr. Davis.
Aye.
Councilmember White.
Aye.
Councilmember Gooden Rogers.
Aye.
Vice President Niskoski.
Aye.
President Lee.
Aye.
9 ayes.
Thank you. Substitute 2226. We'll go to third reading with a favorable recommendation. At this time, I'd entertain a motion to rise from the committee of the whole.
Second.
It has been moved and second. All those in favor of that motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes. Committee of the whole is now adjourned. Thank you all.
The full council is now in session. This is the portion of our meeting where bills are given third reading and action is taken regarding the bills that were heard in the committee of the whole. Clerk Toronto, would you please give Bill 20-26 third reading?
Third reading on an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, to vacate the following described property: western half of the unimproved north-south right-of-way north of Calvert and immediately east of 2801 West Calvert.
Move for passage.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Clerk Toronto, please call the roll.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson.
Aye.
Councilmember McBride.
Aye.
Councilmember Gooden Rogers.
Aye.
Councilmember Warner.
Aye.
Councilmember Thomas Morgan.
Aye.
Councilmember Dr. Davis.
Aye.
Councilmember White. Vice President Niskoski.
Aye.
President Lee.
Aye.
9 ayes.
And just for the record, Clerk Toronto, it was heard in the committee of the whole and it came with a favorable recommendation. All right.
It's for the record.
Thank you.
All right. All right. Clerk Toronto, please give 21-26 a third reading.
Third reading on an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, amending chapters 3, 4, 6, 13, 14, and 17 of the South Bend Municipal Code to align with zoning chapter 21.
Councilor Warner, is there a recommendation from the committee of the whole?
This also comes from the committee of the whole with favorable recommendation.
I will now entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
There's been a motion and second. Clerk Toronto, please call the roll.
Councilmember Dr. Davis.
Aye.
Councilmember White. Councilmember Warner.
Aye.
Councilmember McBride.
Aye.
Councilmember Gooden Rogers.
Aye.
Councilmember Thomas Morgan.
Aye.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson.
Aye.
Vice President Niskoski.
Aye.
President Lee.
Aye.
9 ayes.
Bill 21-26 has been adopted. Clerk Toronto, please give Bill 22-26 a third reading.
Third reading on an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, amending Chapter 21 of the South Bend Municipal Code to make miscellaneous changes for clarification and consistency, to simplify development process, and to achieve higher quality development.
Councilor Warner, is there a recommendation from the committee of the whole?
4 minutes ago, the committee of the whole sent this bill forward with a favorable recommendation.
I will now entertain a motion.
I move for
passage.
second.
There's been a motion and a second. Clerk Toronto, please call the roll.
Councilmember White. Councilmember Bolden Simpson.
Aye.
Councilmember Warner.
Aye.
Councilmember Thomas Morgan.
Aye.
Councilmember Dr. Davis.
Aye.
Councilmember Gooden Rogers.
Aye.
Councilmember McBride.
Aye.
Vice President Niskoski.
Aye.
President Lee.
Aye.
9 ayes.
All right. Bill
2226.
22-26 has been adopted. I am sorry, but I couldn't remember. I couldn't do like Councilor Warner where he gives person's name. All right. Resolutions. This is the portion of the council's meetings where the common council hears bills filed as proposed resolutions. The title of each proposed resolution is read by the city clerk. A report from the committee chairperson of the standing committee to which the bill was referred to for an advisory review and recommendation is then given. During the public portion of each proposed resolution, members of the public are invited to address the council. We ask that you please give your name, address, and comments on the bill. And if you are online, you have to turn on your camera. If you have any questions that will be addressed by the presenter during the rebuttal, each member of the public is limited to 5 minutes, with those speaking in favor going first, followed by those in opposition, then a 5-minute rebuttal from the presenter. Clerk, could you please give 26-12 a read?
A resolution confirming the adoption of a declaratory resolution designating certain areas within the city of South Bend, Indiana, commonly known as 312-318 East Colfax Avenue, South Bend, Indiana, 46617, an economic revitalization area for purposes of a 6-year real property tax abatement for Wharf Partners LLC.
All right, is there a presentation?
Thank you, President Lee.
I'm sorry,
Um,
it's committee report.
There is a committee report.
Yes.
This bill was heard this afternoon in community investment and comes to the full council with a favorable recommendation.
All right, thank you, Mr. Glavish. I just want to give you a few minutes to get yourself together, so um, please proceed with your presentation.
Thank you, Eric Glavich, Director of Growth and Opportunity Offices on the 5th floor of this building. Before I proceed, I did submit to the clerk's office prior to this meeting a substitute bill that corrected a very small typo in one of the whereas statements.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion that we accept substitute bill 26-12.
So move.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion passes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I'll be brief. This is the 4th time that we've done this presentation. This is for a 6-year mixed use real property tax abatement for Cascade Project Phase 2. We're all familiar with Cascade Phase 1. This would be for the areas highlighted in red. This project would be an 8-story building of approximately 112,000 square feet. 30,000 square feet plus would be dedicated to commercial space. You can see images here on the screen of what the proposed project Phase 2 would look like. The total cost of this project is roughly $50 million for just this phase. And estimates from the developer this would create roughly 15 new jobs. As we mentioned, this is for a 6-year mixed use property tax abatement. What's unique about this abatement is that the residential units would receive a tax abatement only when they're owned by the developer. Once the developer were to sell these residential units, the abatement for those units would expire. This is to be able to provide a little bit of relief as the developer goes through and attempts to sell these units. I've said this, I think, in each of the presentations that this abatement is necessary for this project to continue. The developer is taking on significant risk, and your support for this tax abatement would be vital to the success of the project. I'd also like to point out that the terms of this tax abatement are similar to an abatement that the council had approved in 2018 for Phase 1. I will pause there. At least we always like to show our abatement estimates, and Mr. Frank Perry from Wharf Partners LLC is also here to answer any questions. Thank you.
Could you go through the numbers so that it's on the record so people that may be here today can understand what the current taxes are now, what the estimated taxes will be, and then what the taxes if there was no project?
Currently, the parcels bring in about $4,500 a year in property taxes. There are parking lots on them right now, so that helps drive it up a little bit. But over the lifetime of this what this abatement would be, if there were no changes to the property, we'd expect it to bring in about $27,000 a year. $27,000 total over those 6 years. When we ran abatement estimates, we applied a 6-year abatement fully to the commercial spaces, and we worked with the developer to determine what would be considered a reasonable rate of the residential units being sold. So on your screen, over 6 years, with this project, upon its completion, we would be abating about $2.7 million in estimated taxes. However, with the abatement in place, we would still be bringing in about $2.4 million. If you were to apply those numbers out over 10 and 20 years, you're looking at, after 20 years, this property would bring in about $13.8 million in tax revenue. One of the assumptions that we use here is that 2/3 of the units would be taxed at the 1% circuit breaker cap, which is similar to the ratio of ownership in the current building, Phase 1.
Yep. Yeah, that's a very significant dollar amount, and he's also bringing $50 million to build And so that's, and with this incentive, this helps him be able to meet the numbers that he needs to make. Right. All right, council members, do you have any questions?
I'd just like to hear from Mr. Perry real quick. Mr. Perry.
Thanks. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
I know most of you, but happy to answer any questions. We're excited about the project ourselves. It's
Can we
been a
have
number of
your
years.
name and address?
Oh, that's right. Formality. Frank Perry, my address is 320 East Coast Facts, South Bend. Personal
Okay.
address. Business is at 530 East LaSalle.
And my issue is, tell us what's your passion behind all of this? You know, you've been building here for a while. You've been, you know, I was a young buck when you was thinking about all this, and so now where are you
Thanks a
now?
lot. Well, I love the business, but really fell in love. You know, it was pretty interesting. I think it started back when, Mayor Buttigieg had come into office and lit some fires that made me realize South Bend did have a life beyond what we had experienced, because I'd been in this business since, well, this is the only career I've ever had. And being a native of this community, we haven't really we didn't see a lot happening in a positive manner in the real estate business for a lot of years. We made some money out northwest of town in the industrial areas, but there isn't really a lot happening downtown. Most of our real estate that we did do downtown didn't make money, to be honest, and really wasn't very productive. But we didn't have a lot of imagination in terms of investments. And then this property sat vacant from 2002 until 2018. Because we held firm on when to do the right thing and with the incentives. In fact, the current mayor was the then chief of staff for Pete when we made the deal to incentivize the first phase.
Correct.
And we were able to get that done because it was seen that, you have to help the developer with aspects of their project. So he did that. I was happy to see that we were able to get that done. And there were a lot of other projects being seeded around town. My point being, I guess, I got reinvigorated. And instead of retiring, which I try to do, I came back and focus on the East Bank Village now. That's where most of the investments are, and I'm hoping to be able to bring more things to this council and to the city, because I think there's a lot of growth aspects to that. I've worked a little bit with Councilman Warner on some of the things that we tried to bring in the past, the whole link trail now and all the other improvements that are going on. I mean, it's a new world. And for someone who has developed here prior to now seeing outside money come in and putting it into the investments, it's really a good thing. And so
Thanks
my
for sharing
passion
that.
continues.
I wanted you to share that. And so not everybody knows that. And so it's nice to hear from you since you were one of the pioneers of this whole area of the East Bank. So thank you for that, sir.
Well, thank you for the opportunity. Thanks for your support. I
You're
really
welcome.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate
All
it.
right. Now we'll go to the public hearing. Clerk Toronto, is there anyone from the public wishing to speak in favor or opposition or online?
At this time, I do not see any members of the public in person or online wishing to speak in favor or in opposition.
At this point, the public hearing portion is now closed. Council members, would you like to make any comments, or I will entertain a motion?
Just a quick
Yes.
comment. I thank Mr. Perry and the group, Mr. Panzica, for continued investment and belief in the city. And I know you've got other projects, the yard and things coming along over there. And, you've really grasped the motto of nobody's coming to save South Bend. We have to save South Bend ourselves. And I thank you for that and the changes that are coming and have been made in that area and in downtown and the city. Thank you.
Anyone else?
I have a quick comment too.
No, Karen, yours. No, go ahead.
I just want to thank you too. It was exciting to have people in town this past weekend, and on the East Bank in 5 different locations, there was music happening. And so just the traffic that was going on in the East Bank, large part is due to your investment. So thank you, Mr. Perry.
Councilwoman, I almost called you Mick White. Councilwoman White, I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am.
Oh,
Okay, this is very interesting. We'd like to thank you, for your investment, your commitment to our city, as well as your vision and the mission that you have accepted to ensure that we continue to grow and develop. After which, I would like to make the motion, but I'll wait until other council members have had the opportunity to share.
And I'll do the second.
Oh,
Anyone else? Councilwoman McBride? Anyone on this side? I want to say thank you for your investment. Thank you. Cascades is just an amazing restaurant, and it really is really classy to have something like that on the river, and it's a great place. So thank you for your investment. Look forward to the next part. Now I will entertain a motion.
President Lee, I would like to make a motion regarding Resolution 26-12 that we send it to the council with a favorable motion, but also I'm making a recommendation for the passage of the Resolution 26-12.
Second.
Second.
All right. It's been a motion and second. Clerk Toronto, please call the roll.
Councilmember Warner,
Aye.
Councilmember White,
Aye.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson,
Aye.
Councilmember McBride,
Aye.
Councilmember Gooden Rogers.
Aye.
I'm sorry.
That's
Councilmember
okay.
Gooden Rogers.
Aye.
Councilmember Thomas Morgan,
Aye.
Councilmember Dr. Davis,
I'm the real second. Aye.
Vice President Niskoski,
Aye.
President Lee.
Aye.
9 ayes.
Motion passes. All right, bills on first reading.
Thank you, sir.
Clerk Toronto, would you please give Bill 2326 a first reading?
First reading on an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, approving a petition of the Advisory Board of Zoning Appeals for the property located at 2525 Bertrand Street, Councilmanic District Number 2 in the City of South Bend, Indiana.
I would like to entertain a motion to send to the South Bend Board of Zoning Appeals for public hearing on May 4th and send to the Zoning and Annexation Committee for public hearing and third reading on May 11th.
So move.
Second.
There's been a motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion passes. Clerk Toronto, please give 2426 a first reading.
First reading on an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, approving a petition of the Advisory Board of Zoning Appeals for the property located at 1110 North Huey Street, Councilmanic District Number 2 in the City of South Bend, Indiana.
I would like to entertain a motion to send the South Bend Board of Zoning Appeals for public hearing on May 4th and send to the Zoning and Annexation Committee for public hearing and third reading on May 11th.
So moved. Second.
There's been a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion, any opposition? Motion passes. Clerk Toronto, please give 25-26 a first reading.
First reading on an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, approving a petition of the Advisory Board of Zoning Appeals for the property located at 505 Blaine Street and 507 Blaine Street, Councilmanic District Number 1 in the City of South Bend, Indiana.
I would like to entertain a motion to send to the South Bend Board of Zoning Appeals for public hearing on May 4th and send to Zoning and Annexation Committee for public hearing and third reading on May 11th.
So moved. Second.
There's been a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion passes. All right, unfinished business. I would like to thank everyone who was part of the Mayor's Vibrant Places cleanup that was April the 17th in the 1st District. Thank you to Councilwoman at Large, Karen White, Councilwoman at Large, Thomas Morgan, and Councilwoman 2nd District, Ophelia Gooden Rogers, for being a part of that. We cleaned a lot of trash up and really made a big impact in the 1st District. So thank you to the Mayor's office for coordinating everything, and thank you to our wonderful clerk staff who made sure we had coffee and donuts. Any other unfinished business? New business.
Yes.
I have new business first.
I'm saying I have new business too.
Oh, okay. All right. New businesses, I wanted to thank, we were at a program last week, last Sunday, yesterday actually. And there is a concern to look over the RSVP and see how we can work together to strengthen some more things in it. And so I'm asking council members who would like to be a part of that task group to take that task on. So we'll be working to get a task group together to look at ways we can improve the RSVP. Thank you.
The ways we can improve what? Your
The
that away.
RSVP.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yes. Clerk Toronto, you have something?
I do.
All right.
So on Wednesday, May 6th is the first ever National Meeting Minutes Day.
Who?
What
National Meeting Minutes Day.
Meeting minutes day, okay. Woo.
I'm so excited. So I thought I'd share.
All right.
Share
thank
the
you.
excitement. We might have a celebration on Wednesday just because.
May I ask you, what
Meeting
do you
Minutes
do?
Day?
Meeting Minutes Day.
All
It's the
right.
first ever National Meeting Minutes Day.
And
All
see-
the minutes we approve and write
Oh,
are
okay.
finally getting celebrated. So
Oh.
I'm ecstatic.
Thank you. All right. Yes, we are on the new business. Dr. Davis, you had something?
Yes, I have two things. One, those who would like to join me, I plan to write a letter to the library, public library, that as they construct the new library that's going to be over in the LaSalle Park, I would like for the conference room in that building to be named after Marvin Creighton. And he has done so much in that whole area. And I really, the years that he has mentored me and talked, and he advocated so much to the day he died in that area, that as we go into that library, I would like for the young people to know who he was, to remember him, since it's going to be right in the area where he lived throughout his life. And instead of just doing a road of honorary, I thought about that. But since there's going to be a new area all over there, I'm going to write a letter. And for those of you who'd like to join me in that, and then we'll send that, get it filed to the library. And then the second one I filed, as you all know, a special proclamation presented to propose a Earth Day initiative, which promotes a 12-month moratorium on the new hyperscale data centers in the city of South Bend, Indiana. And in the coming months of May and throughout the summer, we'd like to have committee meetings to have people come in to educate us on the different issues so we'll know how to move forward in our city. So those two issues I'd like to push to you for new issues. The one, I believe, Mr. Creighton's funeral, of course, is this coming Saturday. And we'll move forward on the moratorium in terms of having meetings to discuss it in the month of May and in the month of June, so we can hear all the angles of what we should do as this becomes as it is a national, international issue, particularly here in the Great Lakes area of Indiana. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Councilwoman McBride?
Thank you. I have several announcements, but I'll go quick. Thank you to the clerk's office for assisting and putting out information. The SOAR Neighborhood Association cleanup will be May the 9th, Saturday. The Miami Neighborhood Association cleanup will be May 16th. The 3rd District bus tour will be scheduled. It's coming out in June. That date will be given out. Thank you to the clerk's office also on assisting with council newsletters that's being prepared to go out to the different neighborhoods and districts. Also, July 31st through August 1st, the Black Rodeo will be here in town at the 4-H Fairgrounds. And lastly, my best friend's daughter, which is my goddaughter, she was one of the victims who was shot at Bloomington University this weekend. So just keep her in your thoughts and prayers. She was shot 3 times. So just keep her family in your prayers.
Wow,
Yes.
that's deep.
Sheila? Vice President Niskowski?
Thank you. So I just have some quick reporting as I'm appointed to Transpol in the Solid Waste Management District. First of all, the tire amnesty day that was run through the solid waste amnesty. That was very successful. 83 vehicles came through. Estimated 1,000 tires were dropped off there, which filled a semi truck full, which was 53 foot long to the brim. That actually did run in conjunction with the Rum Village neighborhood cleanup that we did. So we contributed 6 tires to that that we picked up on the side of the road. I'd like to thank the clerk's office and our youth council and the volunteers. We bagged 38 bags of trash, 6 tires. There was a mattress that was just recently picked up and a tire rim. But the Tire Amnesty Day is very, very successful, and I can see the board continuing with that initiative. The other is I'm also appointed to Transpo. Transpo has recently, I don't know if anybody has seen them, started putting out some, let me find it, some surveys. And
I was just saying ridership survey.
yeah, so there's some surveys that they're putting out, and basically it is to look at potentially modifications to the Transpo routes. In 2015, as you all know, Senate Bill 1 was passed. It reduced the amount of property tax revenue available in the coming years. As a result, Transpo's budget, we're going to have to be looking at approximately a 15% reduction, which will require modifications to that bus service. And I don't believe that 15% is including in 2028. So the 2 primary ways looking at reducing those services are by modifying route coverage or route frequency. So they're starting with all the passengers. This is also on, I believe, on their website to get feedback from them on is route coverage more important or route frequency. Once they commence with those or they stop with the surveys and they collect them all back, we'll get a report to the board. From that point, they will probably then collect all that data in a report and present it to us. And of course, we'll have public meetings along the way as well to determine what steps are we going to take to cut a couple $1 million out of the budget.
Wow.
There's no easy answers to this. The funding for it from the state, I believe that's called the PMTF, has not been increased in over 10 years. Prices are going up, and there's no way to resolve the lack of funding coming in to Transpo. So we're going to do everything that we can to still make it a great agency, still a great experience for our bus riders, but just know that there are going to be some changes coming. So that's my report.
All right, thank you. Anybody else? Yes. Yes.
Thank you, President. First, I want to offer prayers and for the family of Miss Roxanne Hughes, and prayers for her. She had an accident and while she was out of town, and has a long recovery ahead of her. And she served on the Community Police Review Board. We will have to find a replacement, but I just want it publicly known that we really appreciated her service that she rendered while she was on that board. And I will be looking for a replacement. I also want to thank Harold Brazier and his team. Fighting for Your Health gave a wonderful health fair at Rise Up Academy, and we hope to do another one next year and promote it better. And then congratulations to the Teacher of the Year of South Bend Community School Corporation, the hardest working teachers, the best teachers. And then Arbor Day. It was wonderful seeing everyone pick up those trees. And we live in a great city that is a tree city in USA. And it was just a wonderful event. Thank you.
Thank you. And I do want to say that on Friday, they had a going away party for Jordan Gathers, who is the executive director for VPA. And if he's paying attention or listening tonight, we certainly appreciate all of the years that he's given to the administration and to the leadership of the VPA. He's done a great job, and we wish him the very best on behalf of the council. At this time, we'll now go to the privilege of the floor. Disrespectful, rude, or disruptive speech or actions will not be tolerated. Such speech or actions, as well as verbal attacks on any person, may result in an individual without notice forfeiting the remainder of his or her time. Individuals who wish to address the council must state their name and residential address. Individuals will be limited to 3 minutes only. The maximum time limit for this portion of the meeting shall be 30 minutes. Individuals shall not be permitted to address topics which the council has heard previously on the agenda. Council President may assign a topic raised by the individual during the privilege of the floor to the appropriate council member and/or request the city clerk to contact a member of the city administration for review, and topics assigned shall be responded to at the next scheduled council meeting. At this time, and anyone who wishes to address us must turn on their camera if they're online. Is there anyone that would like to address the privilege of the floor? Please state your name and address for the record.
Good evening. Murray Miller, address 1201 Priscilla Drive, South Bend, Indiana. Also represent the Laborers International Union, Local 645, about 1,000 members. I'd say about 75% of those live within St. Joseph County. I would like to say that we are opposed to a moratorium on the data centers and would like to be part of any discussion that takes place when it comes to a moratorium on data centers. It brings economic development to this town. It brings infrastructure to the community. Depending on who it is, Microsoft has the one in Mishawaka. They are not asking for any tax abatement. We need to have businesses come in here that don't ask for tax abatement, that are putting tax dollars back in. As discussed, Transpo has a deficit. It's going to start affecting everybody, even taxpayers, as it will hit their paychecks, one by the city, one by the county. And so we need whatever we can bring into the city to develop a tax base. So thank you, and everybody have a good evening.
Thank you. Anyone else? Clerk Toronto, anyone who wishes to speak of privilege of the floor?
At this time, I do not see any members of the public in person or online wishing to speak.
Well, thank you very much. We appreciate everyone for your time, your talent, and your resources tonight. And for all of you that came to be with us today, thank you. Thank you for your presentations. God bless you. This meeting is now adjourned.